Just days after pulling back from local grooming gang inquiries, panic is beginning to spread. And it's showing. Keir Starmer is now facing what could be the most serious revolt yet from within his own ranks. Members of Parliament are furious, constituents are demanding answers, and a growing number of voices inside Labour are refusing to stay silent. What began as a quiet policy reversal is rapidly spiralling into a full-blown internal crisis, one that exposes deep divisions, moral cowardice, and the kind of fear that even the party's leadership can no longer hide. Panicked, Starmer reeks of fear as Labour MPs turn over grooming gang inquiry. Stick with us because what you're about to hear is more than just another political U-turn. It's a story of betrayal, pressure, and a party scrambling to contain the fallout. Let's get into it. But first, hit the like button and subscribe for more. Just a quick one to say we have new Labour t-shirts available on our website. You can check the link in the description or go to britishstand.com. Labour appears to be in yet another state of confusion and indecision over its position on grooming gangs, as Home Office sources have now told GB News that the party is considering changing course. Again, according to those sources, the government is actively weighing the possibility of launching more than 5 local inquiries into rape gangs operating in areas across the country. This fresh rethink comes in the wake of growing political pressure, internal backlash, and rising public anger over the party's decision to step back from previously proposed local investigations. The message from Labour MP Jess Phillips, made during a statement last night, suggests a shift in tone. She declared that the party will not hesitate to go further if necessary, an apparent attempt to calm the storm that has been gathering both inside and outside the party. The controversy escalated earlier this week following an explosive report by The Times, which revealed a deeply unsettled mood within Labour's own ranks. 4 high-profile figures, Kat Eccles, Dr. Alison Gardner, Antonia Bance, and Dan Aldridge, reportedly expressed outrage in an internal WhatsApp group and demanded accountability from the Home Office. Rather than acknowledge their concerns, however, Jess Phillips responded by dismissing the issue as party political misinformation, a move that only further inflamed tensions. Dr. Gardner in particular voiced her frustration, stating she would appreciate more clarity on the matter. She also referenced what she described as Reform Facebook group infiltrators, who she said were going hard on this narrative, suggesting that elements from the right were capitalizing on Labour's confusion to gain ground on the issue. Meanwhile, Antonia Bance added that her inbox had been besieged with accusations from angry constituents demanding answers about Labour's U-turn and apparent retreat from local accountability. Despite these internal warnings and growing public scrutiny, Home Secretary Yvette Cooper doubled down this morning in an interview with the BBC. She defended Labour's current position, arguing that the country had already undergone a thorough investigation through a 7-year statutory inquiry into child sexual abuse. In her view, the existing national framework is sufficient, and there is no need for further local investigations in areas such as Bradford, Oldham, Rochdale, Rotherham, and Telford, towns that have become tragically synonymous with systemic grooming gang failures. But critics argue that this position falls dangerously short of what justice demands. Survivors and campaigners alike have long called for localised inquiries precisely because the national inquiry, while broad, did not and could not delve into the full extent of local institutional failings, police inaction, and political hesitancy that allowed these horrors to continue unchecked for years. This entire saga reveals a troubling picture, a party caught between political optics and moral responsibility. The fact that Labour is now reportedly reconsidering its decision yet again only reinforces the impression of confusion and weak leadership on an issue where clarity and courage are desperately needed. As public trust in institutions continues to erode, many are asking if local inquiries are not the answer, then what is? Because right now, it seems that too many voices from survivors, constituents, and even within Labour's own ranks are being dismissed, sidelined, or ignored in the name of political expediency. Labour's credibility on grooming gangs, already hanging by a thread, may not survive another U-turn, and the public knows it. In other news, rattle politicians have hit out at a Liberal Democrat-run council after the authority rejected a VE Day military parade because it was deemed too elitist. Hertfordshire's Dacorum Borough Council has dumped all of the community's plans to commemorate the end of the Second World War on May 8th with a parade, The Telegraph has reported. Flabbergasted by the decision, local politicians slammed the council as the Liberal Democrats advised people to host their own street parties if they wish to celebrate the day. Infuriated by the decision, Conservative councillor Graham Elliott told The Telegraph, "I'm very dismayed about the lack of celebrations. My father fought in that war. I had an uncle who died in the Battle of France. That was the Godin generation. So you think 50 years of a council is far more important than the men and women who gave their lives?" Last year, the same council held a huge parade marching through Hemel Hempstead to celebrate 50 Fest, to commemorate the council's own 50th anniversary. Explaining why the council made the decision against a military parade, Councillor Caroline Smith-Wright declared, "We have decided at this point to enable communities to come together and have street parties. And I think that is for the community, that is for everyone, that encompasses everybody. It doesn't just leave the elite and people to just kind of parade. This is about normal people celebrating in their communities, bringing people together, sharing food, sitting at a table, celebrating, and I think that's a fine way to celebrate VE Day." Echoing Elliott, Independent Jan Madden said, "I'm quite dismayed by this as well. We missed in effect the 75th anniversary of VE Day because we were in COVID. I can remember having street parties where we all sat on our drives in my cul-de-sac, safe distancing from everyone else. I think we should do better." Meanwhile, the Labour councillor Pete Hannell urged the local authority to rethink its decision, saying, "My children and grandchildren are facing a war in Europe now where the aggressor is being appeased in the way that Chamberlain was arguably appeasing Hitler in 1938. Responding to the widespread cross-party criticism facing the council, Smith-Wright said, "I do appreciate and understand everyone's strong feelings. As far as street parties go, we invite residents to sign up to have their road closed. That's an immense expense. It costs thousands to shut a road for a street party. It's free currently. Across the rest of the UK, VE celebrations will be aplenty." On May 8th, a flypast of the red arrows across the capital is scheduled to go ahead, while further celebrations, including a service at Westminster Abbey, attended by veterans and members of the royal family, will take place. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.